In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw nebulas and planets using chalk. So I chose first to start my nebula with a hot pink color here, and I'm looking at a reference image as I'm going, and I'm just drawing the different shapes and colors as I see them. So what's great about chalk is you can blend some of the areas just using your finger, and it gives that sort of wispy look, and then other areas where you want the colors and the lines to really stand out, you can just keep them as is without blending. So after I added the pink, I did some blue, and then now I'm adding some white because I see in my reference image there's some areas that look very light, and it's generally wispy overall with some bright areas, so I'm using my finger all over and blending the different colors together, but not too much so that it just becomes one muddy piece. So next I'm going to draw a different nebula that starts with a circle, and then I'm just using my finger to smear the chalk outwards to create kind of a starburst effect, and then I'm doing the same thing with the hot pink because it didn't really stand out so much with the blue. So now I decided maybe I'll show you how to draw a planet. So I'm going to start with a medium green color, but you can use any color you want, but start with a medium value, so not too light and not too dark. And I'm just drawing in a circle and I'm filling it in with the chalk. Next, I'm going to add a highlight with a lighter colored green. So I'm just making another circle here and then sort of spreading it around, and so it looks a little bit more gradual. And I like to think of this as like a cyclops eye, and then when I add the darkest shadow part of this using this darker purpley color, I put it opposite of the eye. So the smiley is the dark and then the highlight is the eye. So that's what makes the cyclops. And I just used my finger again to blend it and make it look a little more gradual. And if you want, you can take an eraser and clean up the edges so that your circle looks a little bit more round, although you don't have to do this as it's just practice. And if you want to use that planet for our collaborative artwork, you could always cut it out and make your circle look a little bit more perfect. So the last step is I'm going to create another nebula here, and this time I'm going to use greens and maybe a little bit of blue. So I just started with my lightest green and then added some more dark green on top of it, and I added more light green, and I'm just blending a little bit with my finger. But for this nebula, I decided I wanted the lines to be a little bit more visible, because if you look at your reference images, sometimes the nebulas look a little bit more wispy, sometimes they have more clear lines. So that's it, I'm finished with my drawing.